Test, test. Ah. I don't know why that happened, but my audio device had changed. So yes, thank you for telling me. I didn't realize. I was ready a little bit early today, with like 30-something seconds spare on the clock before the stream was due to start. Anyway, basically what I was saying was... Hold on, let me just... Here we go. These are the cars we're going to do today, and before we move along, we are going to just have a bit of a look at them, go over each car individually. And this is the first car that we'll be looking at. It's a Citroen DX knockoff type car. Very, very faithful. You can see that it all looks quite janky if you get quite close. So if you like go further away, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I know Dan. I saw the other one. Unlike a lot of people, I do look at my chat, so yes, I do see them when these sorts of things pop up. Thank you for the help, though. I'm an idiot. So yeah, this is meant to be like a Citroen DX. Very interesting car. Very cheap, very affordable, but had a whole bunch of new things involved with this one, including a hydro-pneumatic suspension setup, which is not something that you would see on pretty much any car ever since. Like, it's a very rare thing. And welcome, Space Warrior. How's it going? So yeah, let's have a look at the interior. See if the interior is as exciting as the exterior. And we have, oh yes, correct wheel drive. Though the steering wheel is 45% offset. No, steering does not actually change the steering wheel. So, alright. I do like the fact that they have like the gear shift lever all the way up front there. That's just a weird thing that Citroen will probably do. I'm not sure about the seatbelt positioning. Generally, you would have the seatbelt tucked right back at the middle anchor part there of the seat. Still pretty good. Back seat, pretty good. Anything in the boot? No. So they haven't done things that you can't see. Lots of little details done around here. Really, I do very much appreciate the detail put into this. I can't even tell what I'm looking at most of the time. They've done a whole bunch of different things around here that all just kind of meld together. I wonder if I could Control T. Is there a hidden wing at all? No hidden wings. Okay, so there's no cheating involved with this car. Just a very odd French car. And I can see what they've done here. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that, but once again, if you look at it from a distance, it looks absolutely fine. Let's have a look closer. In here we've got, oh god, so many fixtures and stuff. Look at that mess. So if we, yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and have a look at the engine itself. We have a Boxer 4-cylinder. Once again, another unique and odd choice. Now, I don't think that they'll have the swiveling headlights with the steering wheels, but they might. Who knows? You're good, how am I? I'm doing fantastic. And that's more than what can be said for the next car. I was actually really excited when I saw the name of this car, and it was something like an 85 Mustang. I was expecting like a really good quality Fox body vehicle. Instead, we got a very basic vehicle. I think also the body molding didn't translate over in the save file because the wheel is popping out considerably more. But yeah, we've got really nothing on the side here, unfortunately. Let's just go ahead and... The back end was also quite basic. Not a lot of intricate details going on here. So I'm expecting most of the things to be done here on this vehicle to be all entirely to do with gripping and handling. If we have a look at the tires though, those are massive tires. So this is probably not a standard Mustang. It's probably got like, judging by those tires, 600 horsepower. Because those are really thick, chunky tires. There's like a fly buzzing around. It's irritating me. Welcome, Onion Man 500 Blinn. How's it going? Ah, frick this fly. God damn it. Yeah, it is a bit boxy. Interior? No. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the engine that we've got in here. We do have a pushrod V8. So at least they've done that right. It is fuel injection. So I don't think they had fuel injection until later in the 80s when there was that swap around the 1986 period. Also, I'm going to point out that this is multi-point injection, when these older Mustangs were probably actually single-point injection. But I'm going to say that this is maybe some sort of hooded up street version where they took the latest cutting-edge technology. Oh, I didn't realize how thirsty I was until I started the stream. And then suddenly my body was like, you know what? Now you're dehydrated and you're going to want to drink in front of everybody. Ugh. Alright, we have... Is that broken? It looks like McPherson's strut. Or McPherson's strut. Bit hard to tell. It's not all there, but I'm going to assume that's McPherson's strut. Or McPherson, I don't know. And then we have, solid axle coil in the rear. So at least they're faithful in that regard. Good to hear. So yeah, that's a pretty good... Not a good design. It's a little too basic. So we've got grille, we have headlight. That's all. They haven't done anything with the bumpers. They haven't put any extra little grille bits down here. No extra little lights anywhere. They don't even have indicators anywhere. It's unfortunately way too basic for me to give this thing a good score on design alone. So I'm hoping that this car handles really well with just pure traction based, and maybe a little bit too much power oversteer when pulling out of, say, a car park at, say, a coffee shop, where, say, there's a car show happening called Cars and Coffee, per se. Anyway, moving along to the next one. Yeah, we also do have 10 cars this week. I'm going to try to get through a lot more of them. But yeah, so we got here a very nice design car. It looks a little bit, with the way they've got the front here, like a Charger. Though everywhere else it doesn't exactly look like a Charger. It's called the Vincer, apparently. It's a very nice, subtle design. And they don't have, like, bazonkersly wide tires. Are they off-road tires? Yes, they are. Not the choice I would have made. But we'll see if that's any good. Anyway, I just realized that I should probably actually... I had my webcam set smaller for, what's that game called? The Longest Drive. So I just made my webcam a little bit bigger for you guys, so you can see my gorgeousness. Anyway, moving along. I like the extra little details. They got the little reflector lighty things down there. Little extra vents in there. Is this music really loud for you guys, or is it just me? Probably just me. And then we got this nice little extra detail along here. Though it seems split into two colors. Maybe they just used the same fixture twice. Which, that's what it looks like they did. Yes, okay. Because I was thinking, like, I know that fixture, and it doesn't have a rim around it. So that's an extra attention to detail that they put on themselves. I think, though, this is a bug, however. Because that doesn't look like it's meant to be there. Also, the reflection is always really silly in this game. Let's have a look at the interior. Ooh, they didn't do a rear parcel shelf. That's unfortunate. Because the rest of it's looking like it's doing pretty well. Let's have a look here. Nice attention to detail on center console. And a nice little dash part here. That's a weird looking hot dog shaped dash. Very weird. The long drive, you mean the long Greg, right? Yeah, that's right. Sorry, the Greg, I forgot. Welcome, Flamesy, and welcome, Revang. How's it going? You missed much? No, I'm just going over the third of 10 cars this week. I'm going to try to pump out as many as possible, so then everyone gets their cars viewed before the big nuke that will be the big update in December. And I have quite the backlog. So yeah, they haven't done any details on the dash, unfortunately. Still, it's fairly decent. I don't know how they got this... Okay, well... Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Oh, you know what it is? Hold on. Attribution not required. Okay, no. There we go. Okay. Get that rusty shit out of here. Let's have a look at our front end just a little bit more. So we got nice little details along here. I know that fixture very well. I've always wanted to use that fixture, but it never looks right. And here even it looks a bit weird, but that's only if you're close. If you're further away, it doesn't look so bad. This looks pretty good. Do they have like an indent for a vent in here? No. I think if they had an indent for a vent along here, this would be a fantastic light. But I can also see how they've used extra fittings in around here. Fixtures, sorry. Pretty good attention to detail. Like, it's not over-designed. It's just a very solid road-going design of a car. From, like, it looks like the late 20 noughts. The late noughties. And let's have a look at our engine we've got here. Oh, we have a big 4-cylinder. That one looks pretty big. With a very small turbo. Okay, so this has probably also got a street tune on it. Though it does have a performance intake manifold. So I'm not entirely sure what to expect from this car. I am not expecting a huge amount, though it does look like a Charger still. Kind of like the body shape kind of design. Moving on. This one I am expecting a lot from, and the next one after that as well. Even if the next one after that is... I'm gonna go out on a limb there and say it's just a little bit ugly. This one itself is a bit weird. I don't know entirely what they were thinking about with the Frontier, but there's no vents or grills or anything down there. Oops, I spat on my monitor. Let's have a look at the engine. Oh no, it's not here! Do I now put like my thumbnail as a... as like, you'll never believe it. What the hell? They've gone with a carbon fiber material on the wheel itself. Looks quite janky, though I do like this funky kind of 80s thing. It really does make the aesthetics of it look pretty good. I think if they had paid a little bit more attention to the front, I would have loved this one a lot more. Got little indicators. Indicators have to be a certain height, so those indicators are not up to spec. They got some reverse intercoolers here, that's weird. And no extra really inlet for air around here, only the one on the roof duct, which should probably be only for taking in air for the engine itself, not for any sort of thing. Hold on. I think this car just exported poorly. Yeah, alright, that's what's happened. Okay. When they gave me the save file, it didn't save quite right. Damn it. Could go over and fix it, but oh well, whatever. Let's see what the interior is. Nothing. The engine. A big F-off V12 by the looks of it. That's a Chonker's engine. And huge turbos. This car is going to be difficult to control. What happened to the manifold? It's got holes in it. What the hell? Peculiar. This one looks like an EV. It does look a little bit like an EV with the no front grille section. Yes, I agree. Welcome, Zake Roblox. Interesting name. I'm watching a live. I mean, that's the title on the thumb, not on the title of the stream. Broken.car file? Yeah, I'm thinking so. So we got loads of power. Looks like we have a lot of downforce. I'm gonna suspect though that this thing is probably gonna bottom out. We do have all-wheel drive, so that is good news. Oh no, guys. Again, with the, like, doing the brakes wrong. Well, let's hope that they haven't actually done the brakes wrong and it only looks wrong. They got 3 pistons on the front, which is way too much. And then on the rear, 3 pistons again, which is probably way too little. We shall see. Let's actually tab over to this car. Control T. Ah, yes, they've also fallen into the pitfall of putting the wing way too low in the front. So this is probably going to scrape, unfortunately. I'm also seeing some, like, weird exporting errors. Wow. Automation's exporter can't even handle its own vehicle, own standard bodies. I've not actually seen that one with this car body before. This car body is usually fairly good, fairly reliable, and does a good job. I'm Zeki Ahmad. Since I uploaded Roblox videos now, so I know myself, Zeki Roblox. Okay then, welcome. Welcome Fuchsia Azul, or Blue Volkswagen. Howdy do? Howdy do indeed. I do well. Making a car right now, man? No, I'm not. I'm looking at other people's cars. I'm joking. I know what you meant. Anyway, let's have a look at the front to see if the front also didn't export properly. Nope. They literally haven't put any grills on the front whatsoever. Very disappointing. Let's go ahead and have a look at the next car. This is like a Group 5 or Group 6, I believe, or Group C, depending on what sort of era you're looking at. A very long car and very large overhang. So this person either knows about aero or has heard me talk about how having the aero foils further out from the front or rear axle will increase your ability to have the desired amount of downforce in corners, but it'll tilt the car physically when at high speeds, reducing the effectiveness of the wing, meaning less drag. So you get higher top speed that a normal car wouldn't be able to get if they had the wings in a more modern, compact position. Neat, you got my name right. I'm starting to remember. It takes me a while. I'm testing my 2002 Audi RS4 time attack car. It drive nicely, has controllable understeer. Okay. Controllable understeer. That's a bit of an oxymoron, if I'm going to be honest, but if you say so, sure. Also big wing. Yeah, this thing has a ginormous rear wing. I'm not sure about the aero balance, so here's for hoping. Let's have a look on the interior of the vehicle. So we have all-wheel drive with 2-pot brakes on the front. So push rod. This is probably a more modern car, not actually an older car, which is what it's meant to look like. Disappointing. I was hoping for a period correct. We also have a big honking V12 with a moderate-sized turbo. So this thing is probably actually designed to have a decent amount of turbo control, lag, but not lag. A decent amount of not lag on the turbo. There we go. Okay. So yeah, a little bit opposite of some of the other cars we've got here. Anyway, yeah, fairly decent. No interior. I would like to point out, however, with a car which is designed for such a high speed, your windshield wiper would probably be vertically straight up on the windshield itself and not off to the side, because having it off to the side there can cause the windshield wiper to lift off the screen, create extra drag. You know, every little bit counts. Another thing that I have a little bit of an issue with is these mirrors look very weird. Odd choice. But sure, whatever. Let's move along. The first car, Citroen, is a GS. Oh, I thought it was a DS. Whatever. Yeah, I know it's meant to be a Citroen. So, I'm not going to say I approve of this choice of grille, but I do approve of how much you've tried to make a design language here on the front. Not sure about this one either, but sure, okay. Would have gone with the different vent here on the hood myself, but still, at the, what is it, the 5-meter rule, this looks pretty good and I do like it. We got a full interior. Unfortunately, the textures have not exported well. Oh my god. It looks horrific. That's pretty bad. Hold on. Let's just tab over to this car. Oh, okay. Okay. And let's just turn the vehicle off. Okay, there we go. That is incredibly unfortunate. So we do have a little bit more details in here. I mean, this looks better than this, and they've tried to go with the material here. And unfortunately, it's come out looking like... I can't even explain what this looks like. You know what it is? You know those, like, chocolates that come in a box that sometimes have like the individual cups for each Oh, where each chocolate is like an indentation, sorry. And sometimes they're like wrinkly plastic that's like hard formed. That's what this looks like. I'm finding it too hard to explain what it is that's in my head, but you should be able to get the idea from what I'm saying, right? Please? Anyway, let's move along. This person has it right. They have the windshield wiper vertically. They've even tried to cover up the stem of it. Attention to detail. And even though I'm assuming this is rear engine, they have a glass back and no... Oh, I was about to say no divider, but there is actually a glass divider here. Oh, interesting. Seafoam? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I see that. I'm back, baby. Welcome, Gangster Gamer YouTube. How's it going? The exporter stops up hard. I mean, it's more that just they haven't optimized it for the new materials way in which BeamNG works with. Me do words speaky, yes. Burnt rubber interior? A little bit, sure. Okay. The GS was an upgraded high production DS. Ah, that would explain the different headlights. Okay. I'm not actually really knowledgeable on French cars like the Citroën, so I'll take your word for it. Seafoam dash, highly wrinkled leather. That's a little bit more than just highly wrinkled leather. DC or Marvel Comics? Comics were never big here in Australia, at all whatsoever. And I kind of missed the craze as a young person. I'm also dyslexic, so I don't particularly care for reading. I prefer to watch things, which is why I got into filmmaking as my degree and everything, as opposed to anything else. So neither. But when it comes to movies, well, DC has had the best superhero movie that's ever been made, but Marvel is really killing it right now. I'm saying DC had the best superhero movie ever made, I'm of course referring to The Dark Knight, the one with the Joker in it. Best superhero movie ever. I loved the Joker in that one. So well done. Now, I love the Marvel films, but they're not like groundbreaking like that one. Like, they took a cartoonish character and made it seem believable. That is good storytelling and amazing writing and directing. Like, just all round, really well done there by Christopher Nolan. Welcome, Thomas. How's it going? Have I watched Doom Patrol? No, I don't know it either. Anyway, so the engine we have here, a Turbo V10. Once again, they've gone with carbon fiber, not the material I would have chosen, especially when it looks this janky. Same here. They've also gone with a white carbon fiber. Sure, okay. Alright. I believe we're probably going to deal with all-wheel drive, right? Let's have a look. In the front. This isn't all-wheel drive! One of the first supercars in a while to not have a big F-off engine, and then they go, I can't control it, so all-wheel drive! Anyway, so we've got, three-pot in the front. Oh, I don't like their chances. Although I do love these tires, by the way. Usually I'll make this writing white, but this... Those yellow writing on the tires with the yellow body look really good, and I do like it. I think that's pretty well done. I love the little V10 badge there I haven't noticed previously. And then the rear... Oh, no. A very small three-pot brake in the back. That's unfortunate. So... they clearly don't know how brakes work, which sucks, because I was so pumped about everything else I was seeing about this car, aside from automation's inability to export properly. Damn it! We were doing so well. Welcome, Nautic Siege. How's it going? Hi, just got here after watching the second on my car. What? The first one? What? It's based on the... Oh, okay, then not the DX, okay. It's as accurate as I could get it without being a straight-up copy. We own 2RL. That's pretty cool. I would like to ask, though, do they come with Boxer 4 cylinders? I mean, I wouldn't have thought they did, but if you say they do, I suppose, sure, okay. But yeah, so... Unfortunately, no matter what they've done here, I'm willing to bet a lot that these rear brakes are going to cook really quickly. So that's unfortunate. Here we have ourselves a hot little hatchback, and I believe that this one is meant to be a time attack hill climb car. So we might take this one up Pikes Peak. I see fake aero on the front, and I'm assuming that's fake aero on the rear. Let's go over and Control T this. That is real aero on the rear. Okay. And then down here we have no fake wings put inside the car at all. Okay, let's have a look at the front. See if they've hidden a wing in here at all. No, they haven't. So, time attack cred is out the window, unfortunately. Disappointing. Brake fade? Yes, I'm very much guessing that this thing will have ginormous amounts of brake fade. Yeah, the steering wheel is not centered. It's an absolute jungle gym in there. Yeah, it irks me a little bit, but, I mean, sure, that's your choice. I'll let you make your choice up on what you want to do there. Anyway, so let's have a look at the brakes on this one. We have in here... What's up with the number 3 today? What's going on? Why is there always 3 pots? Anyway, we have front, and we have... No, okay, so this is... No, it is all-wheel drive. Okay, so we have an all-wheel drive 4-cylinder engine in here. Oh my god, the size of that turbo! That's... Oh my... Oh, sure. That's a big turbo! So, probably not time attack either. Probably just a straight-up race car. Jesus! No, I said it is centered. That's how it is IRL. Oh, really? I think maybe you just have a wheel alignment issue. And the flat 4 overhead cam with 3-speed semi-auto. Cool. Brake fade, holy moly. Yeah, that is a ginormous... Wait. They put a radiator in here, I see, with some fans on it. Okay, the fans are on the wrong side, but no intercooler. So they've gone like a little bit of extra detail in areas where you can't see because you can't see in there. That might be an export problem or like a save file problem that didn't go through that this is maybe meant to be the see-through version of the grill mesh when I got it. But that's why I always say, like, give a zip version. That would be fantastic. Anyway, let's have a look at the interior. We have Recaro-style racing seats, and a bench seat in the rear. So it's a very basic car. Manual shifter, though it's a little bit of a weird ratio and size, but sure, okay. Fairly bog standard here, fairly nice, very 90s. Let's have a look at the rear. At least at the suspension first. So we have a semi-trailing arm. So this thing is going to be quite oversteery. Whether it's controllable or not, we'll have to see. But yeah, 3 pots in the rear as well. Why? Why is everyone doing 3-pot? Is there something... Did something happen a couple of months ago where maybe like a big YouTuber or something like that said do 3 pots all the time? Because clearly I'm missing something here. We shall see though. You know what? As long as it's balanced, ABS will deal with it properly. So maybe that's just a part of their plan. We shall see. If ABS overworks like crazy, then... You know what, actually... There might have been a save file exporty, importy kind of issue that defaults everyone to 3-pot. Maybe. But no, that one's small. I don't understand. I don't know what's happening. Hey, did you see my F1 car on Discord? Maybe? I don't know. But probably. I have no notifications on Discord. I always like to keep it nice and clean. So that means I've gone through and I've seen everything. Turbo lag intensifies? I'm guessing, unless that engine is bigger than what it looks, that yes, there is going to be a ginormous amount of turbo lag. Welcome, Austria Kex. How's it going? 3 pistons. Yeah, I know. I don't understand what's happening. I get the feeling that there may have been like a save file export issue at the time. So we got 3 pots there, 3 pots there. This one, 2 pots. Okay. And this is around the same sort of time. And another 2 pot. Okay. Symmetrical. Weird. 3 pots and 3 pot. We have 2 pot and 1 pot. Okay. So they're not symmetrical. So it's not a symmetricalizing glitch. Unless it has to do with the fact that that thing has a multi-link rear suspension. Then over here we have drum brakes. Okay, well that's going to be inaccurate and I don't know about that one. All right, let's move on to the next car. This one is meant to be a Volkswagen Golf GTI. You reckon that when the turbo kicks in, it's going to have horrible amounts of wheel spin, I'm assuming? These are fairly thick tires. So I'm actually guessing that this thing has a fair decent amount of traction. Though, that semi-trailing arm rear suspension with a short wheelbase and a lot of power, that could probably end up being an issue. Also, what's this glitch on the side? Oh no, it's not a glitch, it's a badge. Just from a distance, it looks like some sort of cutout kind of glitch. Weird. It's a bit too high, this car. Nah, I think that's just the way in which automation designs their bodies. They're not really accurate to what real cars are sometimes, so yeah, that's a bit of an issue. I like they got a little bit of a buckle there. So this is meant to be like a clamshell hood, is it? Interesting choice. The GTI? Ah. I think you're right, but once again, I think that's a well design issue from the devs themselves. Now, I'm going to go out and say this doesn't look like a Volkswagen body. What it does look like is a BMW body, which I always think that this one looks a little bit like a BMW. The big giveaway that this isn't really a Volkswagen, too much of a front overhang, and the front windshield isn't far forward enough. So it ends up looking like a small station wagon as opposed to a ginormous hatchback, which the Volkswagen actually is. The tires seem to be either chunky off-roads or hard long lives. On this, that's a hard long life. This one, also hard long life. I'm guessing there's some issues there with the export-import of save files. This is why I tell people, amongst all other reasons, it is probably best to give a .zip file as opposed to a .car file. Please, truly believe me on that. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest here. Say, like, for instance, this car actually imported incorrectly. One thing I noticed immediately was none of these fixtures fit properly around the wheel wells. And that's also because the tires, I also noticed it because the tires were way out further than what they, the body allowed. So I had to spread out the wheel fenders as well to make everything fit. There is problems with exporting and importing save.car files. Zip files, please. But I will do .car files if you have reasons for doing that. But let's have a look. Our engine is... Oh, okay. That's straight up a race intake manifold. It is a 4-cylinder and a medium-sized turbo. So I'm expecting probably somewhere around 200 to 300 horsepower from this thing. Unless it's an economy engine, then I expect about 200 to 250 horsepower. But it is a Volkswagen, so GTI, so I'm expecting more power. It is only front-wheel drive. Very interesting. Why? Why are we... There must have been something in the water that week. What the frick? And then the rear, 2-pot. And a very small brake rotor. I don't understand, but sure, fine, whatever. You saying BMW, I'll send you my 1 series pack, lol, now I remember I have that. Okay. Sure. Time Attack Hachi Boy is a Clio. This one? I would have actually said it looks more like a Proton. But sure, okay. Now, this one. Wow. This thing looks like it's going more for street cred than anything else. Let's tab over to it. Control T. Does it have real aero on the front? Not by the looks... Oh, wait, no, hold on. Here's a wing. I see there is actually a wing hidden in here. Okay, so we are good. Oh, no, not hidden. Just buried. Okay. So we have... Oh, that's a big engine. That's 6-cylinder turbo. East-west. Why 3-pot? Okay. Definitely there's a glitch. There is no way this many people put in 3-pot brakes this, like, everywhere-ishness. It has to be a glitch. This is impossible. Welcome, Turbo Crash 93. How's it going? Why hate on 3? Because it's usually a sign of poor knowledge of how automation works. Because generally more pistons and stuff like that, not actually good for a vehicle at all. It's usually a really bad idea. Because you then need ABS because that's way too much brake force. So you're hoping that ABS will always work properly. Automation's ABS and BeamNG is not good. That's the nicest way I could say it. It didn't turn the wing invisible. Yes, I know. There's a station wagon. Back is old Volkswagen. The front is 2002. I don't know. You know what? Actually, the back does look a little bit more like a Volkswagen GTI. I will give them that. Anyway, this car. Oh, the design on the rear is sparse and underdeveloped. Is the way I'm going to describe that one. Do we have rear drive? Yes, we do. On multi-link rear suspension and 3-pot again. There has to be a glitch. There's no way this many people made this mistake. And then the interior. Alright. Decent. They've tried at least. It is more a racing style suspension. Interior. With a 1 seat and everything. I do like the design of this. The front stoop's a little too much for my taste. But I like the design. I think this is based on a car that I had maybe last week or the week before. I'm recognizing this front grille kind of design. I swear to God, if my modern phone car has 3 pots, if it's a glitch, you will die on the track. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? The last one is not a Golf. What? That one? Yeah, it is. They called it a Golf GTI in the name of the vehicle. So that's what they're trying to go for. And then this one. Very, very funky looking car. Now, I want you to look at also the vents we got here. Notice how that's like a nice sloped thing here. There's no like edges that has to lip around. Now, that's the sort of one that I would have had on the front here instead of this one. Because this doesn't have air flowing through there. What it does is it has air flowing here and then directly 90 degrees up, which then goes into venting onto the rest of the car. That's why I wouldn't choose that particular vent design there. Though I still do like the look of that car. I don't hold out hopes because of the brake issue that we seem to be having. Now, I do like this car a lot. It has a lot of cool designs that we got around here. Unfortunately though, I've just noticed the wheels. Not the choice I would have made. Let's have a look at the brake discs. Single pot, okay. So I'm guessing that like people probably had like save files from different times and then uploaded them at different times. So sometimes they have this glitch and sometimes they don't this week. I don't know. But I very much doubt everyone had 3-pot brakes. Only with Philman can I miss 40 minutes of stream and still miss not... How dare you? I actually went through a lot of information here. Also, my stream has been going for 50 minutes. Okay, yeah, about 40 minutes. The reason I said that about the brakes in the F1 car, because my modern F1 car is very hard and scary to drive, and if the brakes are bad, you will be smashing into the walls and barriers. Okay. We shall see. I do like the front. Interesting design, very basic. But it kind of reminds me of like old Alfa Romeo, kind of like when they tried to do real cars. I love the side detailing here. I'm not sure about it, the depth of it though. As you can see here, this goes quite deep into the body. Probably wouldn't have done that, because stamping out the materials for this would have been particularly hard. Either way though, I still think it looks pretty good. I just wish they had had that made a little bit shallower. Because you do have to keep in mind how the vehicle is going to be manufactured. And this rear heating element on the window doesn't seem the right shape. So I'm guessing there may have been like maybe more of a slanted window, but the save file didn't come across properly. I'm assuming that's also what happened with the wheels. Those are really big wheels as well. And sports. Or is that semi-slick? I can't remember. What does sports look like compared to semi-slicks? I don't know. I'm confused. Let's have a look at the inside. We got a glued aluminium chassis, and then that's a big engine. Okay, maybe those wheels are actually meant to be there. We have a big quad cam V8. That doesn't suit the rest of the car, if I'm being honest, but sure, cool. I like though that they got these wheels like nicely tucked up in there. All right, these are the cars for this week. Let's start with this Citroen though, because that one is the coolest looking one of the lot so far. Even if when you do get a bit closer, everything looks a little bit jacked up. But yeah, no, I like it. Let's go. There we go. Thank you, game, for finally recognizing my key inputs. Which track do we take this to? We could go to Automation Test Track, but I get the feeling that this one is more of a rugged type car, because that's what Citroens are also used for, very rugged type driving. So let's go with maybe Italy and try a little bit of like road and dirt driving. We're going to start... Yeah, we're going to start at the castle area, because I know that there's dirt roads not too far from there. No, the last car is an old Volkswagen in the back and BMW 2002 in the front. I can kind of see that, sure, okay, actually. But it's not, but pretty close. I don't know why, but I feel like the last car is a drag monster. I would have agreed if the front tires weren't also particularly wide. Or are you saying that it just probably does really well in drags, which it might, who knows. My 2004 F1 car has 6 pistons. Okay, cool. This one... What? This one what? Oh, this car? Semi-slicks don't have much treads. That one didn't look like it had much tread either. If you review my... Okay, cool. Have you got a Google Docs for us to look at with any ratings you gave the cars? Welcome, Connor Mehring. Mehring. I don't know how to say that name, but I'm assuming I'm saying it right because that's the way it's spelled. I used to, but I like to be a little bit more fluid with the way I'm doing things. Now, let's bring up the first car. And they've given it a bit of a weird name as well. Let's go have a look at that name before we go driving around. They've called it the Fronty G4 from 1978. So, I don't know. Also, for some reason... The thumb picture, as you see, here, it's beige. But when you get it here, it's blue. I don't know why, but I do like beige. So we're going to quickly change this back to beige. So we're going to go to color. Going to go to like a beigey sort of color. This is how you do it, if anybody's wondering. There we go. Now, can we change the roof color? No, we can't. Okay, that's unfortunate. So we're just going to go around with the same thing. Anyways, I have to go now. My music lesson. So, okay, catch you later, Gangster Gamer YouTube. I find it funny that you pronounce citron as citron. Citron? Which is French for lemon. Citron is a word we also use to describe sour lemon flavor, or just lemons in general. Correct? Ost get it wrong? I'm assuming most get it wrong. Yeah. Not Exige, though it looks better, but your choice. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like dark navy sort of colors on cars. Unless it's like really metallic, but yeah. I am excited to see how this car drives. Let's go ahead and make sure that the volume is turned up. Ah, okay. We didn't have volume up. Also, what is this? They have EV chargers in the game now? How long have they been there? I've never seen them before. This is not a mod. I have not modded this map. That is weird. Is there like internals to this at all? No. But they do have proper like charge port looking thing. They haven't designed the tip of it, but okay. Interesting. For sure. I do like how BeamNG devs are realizing the switch to EVs and how EVs are going to be kind of a lot more of a thing in cars as time goes on. The automation devs, unfortunately, are stuck in 2012 when they made the game. I really think that the automation devs should have an EV section. Even if it's DLC, I don't care. But really, they should have EV stuff in their game. Because it's now 2021. I love the automation devs most of the time, but that's something which grinds my gears. Oleo pneumatic suspension. Okay. Been there a long time, I think. Oh, really? Okay. All right. The charges were added in early 2019. Oh, interesting. Just here in Australia, we just call them Citron or Citroen. Like, that's just what we call it. Welcome, Nils Wide. The changes were added in 2019. Come on, drive. Hopefully, when the game releases the full game, they do a diesel add-on and a hybrid EV. I very much do as well. Oh, we can't go through that way? Whatever. Oh, I like the sound. It's the sound of the 70s with the, like, shitty tinny exhaust. I love it. That's so good. It revs a little bit higher than what I thought it would have. Does the real Citroen actually, like, feel as rev happy as this? It feels really fun. I like it. Oh, the handling is really nice. Tends to a little bit of oversteer, which is fun in BeamNG. I don't know if it's fun in real life, though. That seems like it might be a little bit scary. I love the body roll. There's so much body roll. I love it. Okay, no handbrake, you turn. Ah! Okay, well, tapped it. Let's repair that. Hydrogen suspension, yes. Over here in England, we pronounce Citron as Citrons. With an S. Weird. Yeah, it does. You know what? I'm just going to drive the car for a little bit. Then we'll get to chat in a bit. Okay, so the handbrake doesn't particularly help us. Okay. This thing tends to oversteer, as you can see, but the moment you put the handbrake on, the thing just drags the rear end like an anchor. I also saw... There we go, got it right that time. an off-road section. So let's do a little bit of off-roading in this car. One of the things that the Citroens were known for was their rugged reliability and their adjustable height suspension for off-roading. You know what? Oh, okay. Bottoms out a little bit. Oh, okay. Not doing particularly amazingly, but still pretty darn good. Ah! Thing hits those bump stops really hard. I also feel as if automation didn't do a very good job of exporting the variable spring nature of hydrodynamic suspension, which would mean the further down it goes, the stiffer the spring gets. Meaning that bottoming out is a lot less common. I do like this car a lot. It won't back up this hill though. Okay, there we go. Just have to feather the clutch a little bit. Wait, hold on. The clutch is on 100%? You have done some fancy things with the transmission, sir. I like it. I don't understand it, but I do like it. I've only just realized you've done something weird. Hold on. I need to check something. Is this front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive? Where's handbrake? There we go. So we have... what sort of suspension is this? Is that McPherson strut in the rear? Oh, no, hold on. That's double wishbone. I just couldn't see the second wishbone there. Okay, so double wishbone in the rear, but front-wheel drive? Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that they used front-wheel drive this early on in Citroen's career. Anyway. I guess it does... It'll do well into 6K. Also, if you put it into third and floor it, it just ride the torque converter and still work. Interesting. Handbrakes the front wheels like our... Oh, okay then. Now I understand a little bit. Sadly, you can't adjust the ride height. I know, that is disappointing. There are ways of doing it, though I wouldn't suggest using the thruster version way of doing it. If this is strut in the front, Citroen has front-wheel drive since the late 30s. I didn't know that. All right. Pretty sure most of their cars are front-wheel drive. Welcome, Crownless. How's it going? Interesting. I might, that handbrake in the front is really starting to irk me. I kind of get it, but I love to be able to get the side out with a handbrake. Oh, okay. Just a little bit of a Scandinavian flick. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Brakes. Handbrake. No. Survive. Oh! You probably would survive that crash. But the car probably wouldn't. Probably would have knocked the engine free doing that. But here in BeamNG, the car is quite fine. It just pulls a little bit to the right. Let's refresh it. Let's go into manual control and put it into third gear like you said. You're right. You can just ride the torque converter. So they use this technology like... Oh, sorry, what was this? 70s? 50, 60 years before, whatchamacallit decided to use it. What's that one? McLaren? Were they the ones that used the torque converter only one gear? And their hybrid 3-cylinder turbo supercar or hypercar or whatever? I think it was McLaren, right? Yeah. I'm actually not sure. That's really cool, though, that we could just go into top gear like that and just ride the torque converter out. Well, that didn't go so well. Be careful of revving it so high. It's actually air-cooled in Beam, so it'll overheat its engine oil and... Oh, okay. I've fiddled a little bit with air cooling in the past. Very cool, mechanic to work with. Stuck the landing. Does that RRL too, by the way? What, overheat? Koenigsegg, they're the ones that did it. Yes, okay, all right, thank you. I didn't think it was McLaren, but I was drawing a blank on any other supercar in the world apart from Ferrari and Lamborghini. I was like, it must then be that one, right? Excuse my amazing spelling. Excuse my amazing reading. I'm dyslexic, by the way. The Gamera, yes. The Regera, what? With the Greg, I think you mean. Everything is Greg. Greg is love. Greg is life. Hold on. Let's get a bit of Scandinavian flick going on at low speed. Nah, doesn't work. All right. And yeah, they did. Okay. Does the third gear thing, that's what I mean... What? From a stop. Yeah. What? I don't know what you guys are saying. You too? What, dyslexia? Greg is life. All right. I love this car. You have put a lot of attention to detail. I'm going to mark you down a little bit. Oh, hold on. Let's refresh this car. I'm going to mark you down a little bit for... like how this doesn't hold up on closer inspection with all these extra little fittings around here. But I do appreciate that you've actually done a really good job of designing. You've gone in, you've fixed materials. You've got such a really well done design, the extra modding and everything. You've even got like the heat elements on the rear window here. I'm not sure if that's actually a thing in the base game, but you've done a really good job. What score do I give this out of 10? Tell me this first. Is this a custom sound or is this the bass sound in from Automation? Phil has, sadly, sorry, dyslexia. Oh, wait, hold on. Phil has sex daily. Sorry, dyslexia. Okay, then. Yes, 8.5 out of 10. I'm actually thinking higher than that. This is a really well done car. Best kind of dyslexia. Custom sounds from bootleg beam mod. Okay. With that knowledge in mind, I'm going to give this car like a 9.5. There is so much attention to detail here. The car handles really nicely. You've changed so many things around in the modding. That's not like to make this car bonkers and outrageous, but just be really true and faithful to this. This is probably one of my most favorite cars of all time of doing this. Very much appreciated. I love it, and thank you for submitting this car. Let's move on to, unfortunately, the complete opposite, with a minimal attention to detail. And that would be this car. Now, let's go along and name and shame. The 86 Mustang by Sheesh. I'm assuming that's meant to be like that sheesh thing, which I now hate myself for just saying even. This is a 2012 car, so they haven't set the year correctly. $21,200, okay. Here is my 86 Mustang for your enjoyment. I'm sorry, but that still says 2012. So maybe there was an error in the car save export and import. But yeah, no, that's not what we got here. We also have unrealistic tires for the period. Very basic design. The hood is as flat as my girlfriend's chest. I don't know. Let's give it a bit of a try though. Oh, we have a lot of power and a lot of oversteer. We're hoping that this thing will grab back some of its score with its handling ability. Brakes are pretty good. Pretty decent. We're having problems in BeamNG though with frame lag under braking, so it's going to be really hard to actually judge the braking here. It's probably not the map I should have this on either, but let's, yeah, I'm getting massive frame lag under braking. So let's go ahead and bring this to a little bit of a simpler map. Free roam. Utah. Okay, so I'm guessing Utah will probably be a little bit better because that's more what Mustangs are meant for. Cruising on long highway sort of things. At least a 9 out of 10? Yeah, I like the 9.5. I've gotten better since then. I made this thing back in April, made the Reliant from an episode a few months ago. Oh, okay. I don't think I remember that car. Sorry, but I do go through a lot of them. I've gone over 100 cars. Okay, whilst we're waiting for that to load in, let's bring up the car. Give this one at least a fair try to see if it handles, as opposed to knowing that it doesn't look good. Oh, hold on. So, who was this again? Sheesh, that's right, yeah. Pretty good in the straight line. Maybe I should take this to the drag strip. See how it does there. Get the feeling it's not going to be a bonkers time. The brakes are moderate. I do like them. A little less frame lag under braking here. It tends to understeer immediately when braking. The handling is very balanced. As you can see here, we're not getting like oversteer or understeer necessarily. Pretty good, actually. So they didn't focus on design at all, really, unfortunately, but the rest of the car, they've done a pretty good job of making a pretty decent car. Very loud. Is that louder than me? Can you guys hear me over this car? Is that a problem? Okay, BeamNG is having a problem with selecting which gear to be in. I like it. The handling gets like a good 8 out of 10. Really nice. I'm gonna actually do a proper time trial with this on automation test track. The full track with this car. This car seems pretty good at handling. I'm also going to quickly check if it has... oh, my brain doesn't work. Aero on it. Because I don't think I actually checked that. One thing that's airborne in the thumbnail, that was a hill climb episode. I vaguely remember that one, yeah. At least it sounds good, especially for a base automation sound. No oversteer. What kind of Mustang is this? They only get power oversteer. Other than that, they generally tend to understeer, as much as I've heard. A tamed Mustang, impossible. I know, right? Control T, let's have a look at our aero. I see no aero down the front. Seemingly no aero hidden in this car at all. And then on the rear, we have an actual aerofoil here, even if it's using a fixture which looks more like a diffuser than a wing. Then down the bottom, we have no aero. So I'm guessing that this thing is tuned for a little bit of oversteer, but with just the raw suspension, everything is tuned to oversteer at higher speeds, but then it's tamed by this small wing a little bit. All right, let's give it a full try. Try to tame that power on takeoff. Also, this thing has ginormously wide tires, so if this thing didn't handle well, I would be surprised. So a little bit of understeer there on the first S's, of which I've forgotten the name of again. Bringing it around, and then let's bring it down to the mini slingshot. Got a fair decent speed going into here, almost 170 kilometers an hour. Then slow it down for Ban Hammerhead. Okay, brakes are pretty good. So the thing isn't as fast as you would think. Good handling and everything so far. Still doing pretty well. I get the feeling that this car is quite light and the engine just doesn't create a lot of power. Sure. Good time to the first sector. Pretty decent. It's not a high pickup, but still doing pretty darn well. Now we're going to see if this car fails, and I'm getting frame lags still for some reason. Slingshot. Oh. That is good handling. 240, almost scrubbed off, no speed whatsoever. Get the feeling that the scrubbed off speed was... Okay, brake fade, yep. So that was the problem with those brakes, and that's why, yeah. One way I could tell if a builder is good or not is by basically their brakes. It's one thing that a lot of people just don't understand. Now let's get it slowed down here. Okay, nope, we've all lost all of our braking. Oh, that was scary. But now we know that we have to drive the rest of the racetrack just a little bit more careful because of the brake fade. Also, I'm noticing how small those mirrors are. Quite minuscule. Now let's bring it around to Adam's Apex. We're going to find out whether this car is heavy or not. You know what? This car didn't handle like a heavy vehicle. So I'm guessing maybe this vehicle is quite light. And we'll figure that out after we get to the end. Slow it down for Cossacks. Getting pushed a little bit wide. Unfortunately, I didn't turn in early enough. I felt that I was driving a better car there for a second. Lamb's Hope, get it turned in there. Nice. And bring it down the back straight. We're at a 2 minutes 26. Okay. Acceptable. Not a super duper car, but still pretty good. Let's go into free roam. Bring it to a stop. Control N. And the weight is 12. Okay. So it feels lighter than what it actually is. And I'm guessing the reason why it maybe feels a little bit lighter is the fact that this thing has huge tires. As you can see there, they are just so wide. Really unrealistic. What's your favorite car era? I do like the 60s and 70s a lot. Like that sort of era really birthed like cool Ferraris, Mustangs, Corvettes looked pretty good. But also, there was a lot of really good cars in the noughties that I really do like a lot of, especially considering that all the cars I own are from the noughties, and I really do love them a lot. But yeah, so design, I mean, they haven't made it look ugly, but they just haven't really put much attention to it, done really anything. Also, how has the material come out matte? I exported this car. Usually, even if you do select matte, it still comes out glossy. Maybe there was an update that I missed. I'll have to actually do some testing on why that's turned out matte. But yeah, the handling, I mean, it's not a supercar, but I'm not going to judge everything by like a hypercar, level of handling. As for just handling of what the car is, it gets like a 9. 0.8. I don't know, it is actually really good at handling. But it is fake. So that gets me onto my final score of realism to what the car would be and all that sort of stuff. And just how accurate it is to a real car. 0. No realism here whatsoever. Maybe the engine power amount? Let's quickly check out the engine power amount. Bringing up a torque graph. Engine torque. So we have 300 horsepower. In the 80s? Yeah, nah, bruh. Also, probably not that engine at all either. What engine have we got in here again? Pushrod, but multi-point injection. It's just not... It's not there yet, unfortunately. All right, let's go have a look at the next car. And that will be the Arquette Visa 1.6T. So it does sound like an economy car, this one. Here we go. So, this one is by The Talking Bath. Sure, okay. It's a 2020 car. $42,000. Pretty decent. I'm expecting a lot from this car, though. A generic French sedan. Let's go have a look. Let's see if this car is worth $42,000. It doesn't look French. I'm going to be straight up honest. This thing just looks American. It doesn't look French at all. Is it front-wheel drive only? Let's have a look. See? We do have front-wheel drive. 2-piston. And then on the rear, we have multi-link. So it does seem French. This one does also seemingly have balanced brakes. So we're about to go check that out as well. What is the weight on this? 1,700 kilos. This is a heavy boy. So I'm guessing mostly luxury. Let's have a look at the interior again. Yeah, this does look fairly luxurious. They haven't done a rear parcel shelf, unfortunately, but yeah, it's still pretty good. Carburetors in the 90s? I don't think so. I think in 1986, when a lot of cars started to make the switch due to a lot of different regulations around the world, that I think they switched to injection, but I believe it was single-point injection, not multi-point injection like what they've got. So basically it was a carburetor where they took the fuel jets out and stuck a fuel injector in, and that's basically all they did. Saves a lot of money, hurts a lot on the power, but people didn't particularly care too much. People just hated fuel injection anyway, so, and yeah, it was a problem. The front looks like a Renault? No. Maybe there's a Renault that I don't know, but it doesn't look like a French car. So we have traction control. Let's turn that off because we're not driving this one like a grandma. Okay, so it looks like we're dealing with just a straight automatic transmission. Tons of understeer, which I'm not sure if that is indicative of French cars nowadays, but maybe, who knows? Looks like a Megane to you? I think it looks like a nothing. I think it looks fairly unique, but then again, I haven't looked at a French car in a very long time. Okay, so understeer at low speeds, oversteer at high speeds. Don't ask me how, but that's what we're getting. See, like, tons of understeer. And then when we get to a little bit higher speed here, like the Cotswolds corner, a little bit of oversteer. Oh no! Oh dear. Oh, we've got a little bit of damage now. Also, I'm noticing ever since I switched off of that first car, the Citroen, all my viewers have dropped considerably. So, that's unfortunate. Looks like a Saab. You know what? It does look a little bit more like a Saab than anything else, in my opinion. What about 90s European cars like the Golf VR6? No, doesn't look like that. Looks like an Alfa Romeo. Actually, there are little hints of what you're saying, but that's pretty much comes down to only just this part here. But that is a single fixture, which is designed to look like the Alfa Romeo part. The rest of it doesn't, unfortunately, but I get what you're saying. Jumbo Jacob, thank you for still being here. Alright, let's see how this thing goes through this corner. As you can see, the oversteer and then into understeer. Lift a little bit because it understeered more than what I was expecting. Let's bring it to the car killer corner. The Bavarian bend. Oh, lockups. Oh, not good brakes. And then turn in. Okay. I think we're done with this car. I get the idea. You've done a pretty good job. Realistic? Yes. The tendency to understeer for safety reasons. The front-wheel drivedness. I do like it. So the realism score is pretty high. I'm going to give it maybe like a 9. Because it is like they have really tried to stick to their guns. Oh, wait, hold on. 7, because it's got off-road tires. It wouldn't have had off-road tires. I do like the fact that they've not shied away from making it heavy like a real luxury European car. As for handling and the feel of it, would this be a car that I would like to drive? No, it's actually quite boring, unfortunately. But I get what they were going for. That fits into the realism category. As for the style and design, pretty good. They've missed a few things, but the design itself looks pretty good. Overall, I'm going to give this car like a 7. Because I'm not enjoying driving it. Enjoying driving a car is very important for me personally. For other people that just want to score this on like realism and how you would like a real car to be, it'd probably score a lot higher. But I personally can't. Can't do that. No, I meant, what did you think about some of the 90s European cars like the Golf VR6, lol? Sure. I thought they were a bit bland. Actually, I thought they were a lot bland. Let's have a look at our next car. The Croydon Motors Capina Wagon. Okay, so here we have this one by Beamer? Not entirely sure how to say that name. A 2020 car, $84,900. So this one is quite expensive, and I'm assuming that's because this car is modified. A relatively recent shooting brake I made. So this is just a car that they made, and they call it a shooting brake. Is it a shooting brake? Yeah. Technically, you could probably say that this is a shooting brake. But when I think of shooting brake, I think of like the cabin being much further back. Kind of like your BMW Z3, sorry, a BMW M Coupe type thing, where the cabin is really far back. This, I don't know, not really. I do like it though. We got lots of interesting design here. A little bit design influenced by BMW, a little bit by Alfa Romeo. The rear, a little bit by Volkswagen, as you said. I do agree with that. Now, what have we got here and again? A big V8? Big quad cam V8. And, hold on, is it all-wheel drive or just rear wheel? It's all-wheel drive. Okay, one piston in the front and one piston in the rear. So, I'm guessing that this thing has good braking parameters. Also, the last car also had... not 3-piston brakes, and it did pretty well. Okay, braking is horrible. Okay, so let's go in and assume that the brakes were an issue. Sorry, ABS is an issue here. So we're going to turn ABS off and give it another try. Okay, brakes are way too powerful, which is unfortunate. Let's try that again. Let's see which brakes lock up first. They lock up simultaneously, so I don't know why ABS is overacting. Oh, you know what? This thing just doesn't like to slow down. Is this thing super heavy or super nose heavy? 1,500 kilograms. All right, let's put the ABS back on. And turn ESC off. We have some sort of... I'm guessing that this is a DCT, dual clutch transmission. Okay, so we get a little bit of tendency to oversteer, but it also feels like it's got oversteer, so... It's fairly well balanced. We have no aero though. I mean, I did check that out. Control T. Yeah, I see no aero on this thing. So we have to be careful with this car. It will have a tendency to drive really fast and seem like a really fast car, but then when it comes to cornering and stuff like that, it's going to suck pretty bad. Alright. Decent. Let's bring it down here to the S's. And the brakes are not good enough because the vehicle is with no aero. So the brakes are good. What it is really fast without aero, so it gets confusing. It tricks you into thinking that the brakes are no good and maybe the ABS is overacting a little bit. But no, it's just a fun kind of car with a very short gear ratio. Alright, let's somebody said that this thing looks like it'd be a drag monster. Let's take it over to do a drag race. So we're gonna go turn the music back on. Time trials. West Coast. Load that up. Not that car, thank you very much. The Croydon Motors car. Okay, let's go. Welcome, Groundhog. How's it going? This car looks good. I do agree. It does look pretty good. All right. Let's see how this one does driving. Just me pants up a little bit so I can let my gut out. Loading screens. Oh, I hate them. Also, this one is going to take a while because I had to clear my cache recently, multiple times, over and over again. I think I've done it like 4 times in the last 2 days or 3 days or something like that, because I've had so many issues. I just hate doing it. Going well? Good to hear. Okay, let's wait for everything to come in first, which is going to take a while. There we go. All right, Do we think this is going to do well? I'm going to guess, with the amount of power and the moderate weight of this thing tuned with all-wheel drive and short gear ratios, this thing's probably going to do somewhere around a 13, maybe a 12. But let's give it a try. Hold on. Let's turn that off. Okay, fairly good launch without bogging down at all. Wow, okay. I was wrong. This is a 10-second car. Let's try that again. We're gonna, Oh, no, hold on. Wait, how do I do this again? Okay, we're gonna now into sequential mode. Oh, sorry, sport mode I think it's called actually. Sorry, not sequential mode. Hopefully that'll keep it in the revs just a little bit longer, allow this thing to get a little bit more speed. Still a 10.5 second car. That is a very fast car. So let's go ahead and give it our review, as we probably just call it that for simplicity reasons. Design. I do like it a lot. The wheels do not match whatsoever. So I'm going to say... because I really do hate those wheels. Those wheels do not match even slightly. And we give the design... oh. Also, the hood vents look a little bit weird and out of place. 6 out of 10. Because most of it looks pretty good and most of it does look really nice. Realism... I mean, it's probably meant to be a modified car, so sure. Maybe somewhere around like a 7. Or 6, even. As for driving and handling, fairly decent, like a 7 again. It's very, like, good. But not fantastic. Especially with those brakes not feeling up to scratch with the rest of the car because of the lack of downforce with the drivetrain and everything in this car. So overall, just like the general feel added on top of that, I'm going to give this car like a 6. I don't know. It's let down by a few major things that just aren't making me particularly happy with it. Let's go ahead and have a look at the next car. It's a hypercar by the looks of it, or a race car, I'm not sure. Told you it would be fast on a drag strip. You did. I'm assuming it was you, but yes. Thank you. It was. Oh my god. The boss from last time is still haunting your PC. Maybe, I don't know. Welcome, Zillick. That's what I'm just gonna call you. I just arrived. Hi, Rip. I'm sorry for my car. I made it before I had BeamNG, so it wasn't tested. I don't know which car you're talking about. Made it here in time for a stream. Yes, Canola Skies, welcome. Now we're going to be doing a hypercar. Now, this is the first of the 3-pot problem. Let's see how it goes. I'm gonna drive it down here. We've got a lot of traction control kicking in. Incredibly short-range gearbox, and the car is overheated. And we blew the engine. This car gets a 2 out of 10. Next car. All right, let's at least do a little bit. Dragon works. Let's see. They've made a failure of a car. This is by Yash Plays. Oh, okay, then. That makes sense. So, Yash Plays. You're here in the chat. Did you put on 3-piston brakes on this car? Let's just double check that this one actually has 3 pistons before I go actually doing some investigating here. Yes, 3 pistons on the front and 3 pistons. Okay, yeah, so... did you do those 3 pistons, or is that some sort of glitch that you didn't do that I got? Which is possible. Very possible. Let's quickly refresh the car. If you've made a car that is a failure, please just remove it from the list. Because this car doesn't even drive down a 1/4 of a mile before blowing up. There's a funky, fresh-looking car from the thumbnail been on... that looked nice. Yes, it did look pretty cool. And yes, it has been. It was actually the first car on the list as well. Probably should have done that one last because all of the viewers left after I finished viewing that car. Yeah, so look at that engine heating up. The heat goes up with the thing, and it's Really uncontrollable. Too much oversteer. I don't know, it was one of the first cars made, so I don't know. Okay. I would have appreciated if you had to remove the car from the list and maybe done an updated version. Because, yeah, no, this is hot garbage. This car gets a 1 out of 10. I mean, the only reason why it doesn't get worse, unfortunately, is because the design isn't so bad. You've done some interesting things here. I do like the wheels, even if I think that that's not a thing you can change yourself, that color. I don't know. I have seen those wheels around. I've just not bothered to use them yet. It's just... a lot of things are letting it down. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Unfortunately, undrivable. Let's go ahead and try the next car. Now, this one... Hold on. I didn't check the name of it. I'm expecting a lot from. It's the Doom... We'll check that out in a second. Do I have the Spa track activated? No, I do not. So yeah, I'm going to take this one to Spa, because I feel that that's where this car is going to shine from. I can only bring up Spa in a race format, apparently. So let's go to time trials. Spa. And the car. It's going to be the Doom. Let's go with 1 lap. So, the Dumondeview Evasit Grassansi prototype. Are you trying to torture me? God damn. By Zeppelin Blue Ball. Interesting name choice, okay, sure. This is in 1992, so this would just be around that transition period from Group C to LMP sort of era. 421,000. It is missing fixtures though, so I don't know which ones. Very expensive road car, but as for a race car, that's actually really cheap, so I don't know. Ah, okay, so it is a Group C car. I should have looked like literally centimeters over. Le Mans Group C car with enough downforce to make IDR blush. Enjoy. I don't know what IDR is. Sorry, don't know what it is. Okay. I don't know, it was one of my first cars, so as people always say to me, test a car, then test it again. When you're making it, yes, I agree. I get the feeling there's a problem with load-in. I'm gonna wait for the program to respond. I did an updated one. I didn't remove it though. Okay then. That's W hat. I see, but oh well. What? Don't... Doom a crisis? What? I'm confused. Uh-oh. What? What happened? Oh, okay. Game actually finally loaded in. Whew, lucky. Oh, the Volkswagen IDR. Okay. Let's hope that this thing has the suspension to be able to withstand that amount of downforce. Which, judging by the brakes, I'm guessing probably they haven't put much thought into it. The Volkswagen IDR electric race car, it holds the current Pikes Peak and a whole bunch of other records as well. Also, the stream is lagging. I think that was to do with the load in there. There was just some issues. Am I still... Yep, good. Webcam is still working. Let's have a look. Control T. We have... Oh, no. Oh, no, good. Okay. The wings are actually still there. Do we have a wing down here? Yes, we do have a wing down here. Interesting. Let's go ahead and have a look at the front here. So we have... Good. They've got the wing not scraping the ground. Okay, smart. A very, very big front wing. But they've got like one very big front wing on the front and two ginormous wings on the rear. So I'm guessing that this thing has a lot of downforce. Anyway, this is a 1992 car. Let's have a look. All-wheel drive. So, not a 1992 car, unfortunately, because although, yes, all-wheel drive was starting to get into normal cars, it wouldn't have been in a car like this at all. Understeer prediction? I'm guessing, But yeah, let's have a look. So we have all-wheel drive, so maybe not, I don't know. I can't get a good look at the width of the... Front tires are ginormous. So that could be offsetting the issue. They're not much narrower than the rear tires. So that could actually be a good balance. I won't know until I get in and have a look. Now, let's just double check. What were the brakes again? Two-pot. Oh, okay. No, maybe the brakes are good. Then in the front we got two-pot. I don't know. We shall see. Let's give it a try. Let's Control-T that away. And give this one a good hot go. Feels fairly stable, a little bit laggy off the line. Not as much power as what you would hope. Brakes are phenomenal. I feel like this thing is probably missing a third of the amount of power that you'd want it to have. Actually, I'm feeling that this thing is missing like maybe a half the amount of downforce you'd want it to have. Alright, will this thing just floor it through? Yes, it will. Okay. Well, we got a little bit of understeer there, unfortunately. So, I couldn't make the corner properly. That would have been a DQ there. Okay, we're getting a little bit of oversteer at high speeds. This thing is becoming uncontrollable. Brakes are phenomenal. I braked way too early just then. Understeer, it doesn't... Yeah. So, it is quite steady and controllable. Really nice. Unfortunately... the thing tends to massive amounts of understeer, which is not how you would have a race car set up. A car should, for a race car, generally feel quite oversteery. Okay, yeah, lots of understeer. If I knocked off the front wing? No, I have not. Okay, the front wing is still there. It feels really steady and stable. Now, I think we were doing 2-minute 10s with our Group C cars from 1989, I think it was. Something like that. Alright, a little bit of understeer, but still a lot of traction to be able to hold it in place. Slow it down here, out of Puon. Okay, brakes were struggling a little bit then. I wish I had brake thermals right now. I get the feeling that they may have been getting close to overheating just then. Alright, and then slow it down for some of the last tight corners before bus stop, at least. I suppose I should count bus stop. Fairly decent. Handles pretty well. Our time is not great, and I think that's because there's too much downforce. Though we are not scraping at all, which is phenomenal. I don't know how they've done that without having a car that's way too rigid. Pretty good. Nice. Okay, okay. Oh, tendency to oversteer and unsteady at higher speeds. The brakes are still absolutely amazing. And bring it down to the finish line. We're going to end up with, unfortunately, an unsatisfying time. I reckon with a lot of practice, I could probably actually knock off 10 seconds with this car. Unfortunately, as it sits, the car is just not mind-blowing. I would give this car, for its like handling and feel and all that kind of stuff, actually a pretty good score, like a 7. It would be a lot better because it actually has a lot of traction and a lot of grip around corners, but it does have that unfortunate tendency to understeer. The design, I'm also going to hurt it quite a bit. The design is a bit too bland for my liking, so I'm going to give it maybe somewhere around 4. The realism, a 0. Because it's not really realistic, it's all-wheel drive as well. Not really what you would expect from a car of this era. Overall, though, the feel of it is quite nice. I'm going to give it somewhere, like, added up everything and also just my general feel of the vehicle, somewhere around, like, a 6 to a 7 sort of range. It's a bit hard to tell because I'm really torn. I like the handling, but I also hate the handling. It's very weird, conflicting feelings I'm having right now. Yes, more downforce on a car in the front does induce understeer, yes, but it still was pretty good. And I think that was due to the fact that it had really wide front tires for a mid-engine car. Which is also causing the issue with high-speed instability, which is why they had more downforce on the rear. But if they had just designed the car better, and probably just made it rear-wheel drive, they probably would have ended up with a much faster car. All-wheel drive was just a cop-out because they didn't know how to deal with having too much power, but it doesn't really feel like it has too much power. I feel like maybe this thing has a ginormous amount of downforce, but it really felt like I had 300 horsepower. But I'm going to guess maybe more than that. Okay. So, what, 600 and... Oh, no. Wait, what? Wait, which one is power? A lot of torque. We're only dealing with, like, 430... So, yeah. It's about 200 horsepower short of what it should be. So, it's nice, but not quite there. I think they need to try a few different revisions, and I think it would actually be a pretty good car. I mean, I do like it. It's not horrible, but it's lacking refinement. Let's have a look at our next car, which will be the Kaze F600 Sport. Kaze? I think it might be Kaze. Like, the things from Naruto, or maybe Kamikaze, I'm not sure. So it's an F600 Sport. It's by Irving SG, a 2014 car. It's $112,000, so it's like high-end car, low-end supercar sort of price. It's a 4-liter V10 sports car, so it's not meant to be a supercar. Interesting. Let's see what it actually handles like. Let's first have a look at the aero. So did this thing have an air wing tucked in the front? No, it doesn't. Do we have any air on the front whatsoever? No, there's no air on the front whatsoever. What they've done is they've added a lip here, which is not a wing, and wings do not give downforce. I also see that we have traction control, and I get that feeling that might be to do with also their misunderstanding of the car. Now, the fact that this thing has got 3-pot seems a little bit more realistic to actually have a 3-pot. Then the 3-pot really small brakes in the rear. That is unfortunate. So do we have all-wheel drive? Cop-out 4-wheel drive? No. Okay, so this is just a rear-wheel drive car. All right, let's have a look at the front tire width. Very wide front tires. But there is no front aero. So I don't know how this car is going to handle. There's so many contradictions in design here that I just don't know how it's going to work. Welcome, the Starlight Alchemist. How's it going? Race cars just seem hard to make, though. I'll leave that to the others. Fair enough. You really have to tune the car in 2 different ways. One is to have your mechanical handling done well. And 2 is to have good balanced aero. That's the 2 ways of doing it. If you can't do the first one, then you can't do the second one. Like how I made a way to be able to just give you the finger descent for no reason. I didn't break any rules. Anyway. Should have lowered the rear wing angle. There's lots of issues with that car. I think it just needs more refinement and a better understanding. I do kind of like the satin black. Yeah, I don't know how they're getting that in automation to BeamNG. Maybe there was an update which I missed recently. So I'm going to have to look into that, do a bit of testing, figure out how they managed to get that. Reminds you of the black special race cars from the old Gran Turismo. Yeah, a little bit, maybe. Does wing angle change in Beam? Yes, it does. I was unsure about that. Yes, it does. Okay, so there is 2 things which affect downforce when it comes over to BeamNG, which automation doesn't read in the game itself. One is the size of the physical wing. So if you make the wing extra long, like lengthways down the body of the car, that will actually do the best out of all for giving you better downforce with less drag. So yeah, generally the overall shape. But just as a tip, make it longer. Like, not wider, but longer. That will help. Do not tilt or angle the wing, because that can glitch out the exporter, and sometimes it will just give you no wing at all, where that wing would be, due to just glitches. Or, even worse, it could give you a downforce on one side more than the other, which you do not want, unless maybe you're doing some sort of, like, stock car racing. The other thing that changes is the slider for the front and rear aero in automation. What that'll actually do is you've got your wing now that you've placed in the fixture placing area. The slider changes the angle of the wing when it exports. It doesn't actually change the mesh, like the flex body or what you actually see physically. It changes the invisible wing. So Control T. If we have a look here, they've turned up the rear wing angle probably like I'd say to 60 by the looks of that. And as you can see here, this rear wing is not just the wing area. So this is something you have to be careful about. It's gone the entire length of the main body of the wing. So this thing has humongous amounts of rear downforce. So I don't know how this is going to handle. Problematic. To be honest, I'm never able to make all-wheel drive car driving well on automation. Weird. All-wheel drive is the easiest. It's a cop-out even. Thanks for all the info there. I did not know much about that. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and give this car a drive. It looks quite nice for being a weird kind of basic design. Nice power delivery. Straight line control there was fairly decent. All good, except tendencies to oversteer and understeer. Weird. So oversteer when throttle off, so lift off oversteer, but then understeer on power on. So let's see how it does in, what's this called? Eau Rouge? I forget the name of it. Oh, understeer, 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 and brake fade. Like 2 corners in, we've already got brake fade. That is a problem. I'm going to give this thing actually a really high design score, even though there's a bunch of what I would consider mistakes. I still do like the design of this car. It is pretty nice. And then let's slow it down from far back and rear brake fade. That's unfortunate. So, yeah. Handling is actually, you know what, not as bad as I would have thought. They compensated for the shitty downforce and balance by having massively thick front tires. But that does hurt our braking performance and our high-speed performance. Every other metric, though, this car is actually pretty good at handling. So I think I understand why they said it was a sports car and not a race car or a hypercar, even though that's what it looks like. I mean, it looks like a hypercar. Like the actual physical big wings like that. Aside from that, though, it's... yeah, okay. Understeer there. Yeah, no. I'm gonna give this car, like... It's an unrefined design, but I do love the design. Design gets, like, an 8. I do really like it. There's a few things I disagree with. One of which is that grille. I do not approve of that grille at all. Working like that, at least. That rear wing clipping inside there, that looks particularly weird. They've not tried to cover that up at all, doing anything. Maybe like an interior sort of roll cage of some sort maybe could have hidden it. Who knows? Something weird. But yeah, that looks a bit weird. The handling is trash. Actually, no, the handling isn't trash. It's like middle of the road, 5 out of 10. Power is fairly decent. It's not a supercar amount of power, or modern supercar sort of power. I'm going to give this car like a 6.5. I really do like the design though. But let's go ahead and select the next car. That would be this car. I should actually probably check what this one is. I think this might be the hill climb car. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. So this is the Otilli Motors thingamajiggy. Okay, here we go. A 2007 car by Audi Quattro. Why is this stopped? Ah, we've reached the end of the thing. There we go. Okay, so this is a 2007 $29,900. Pretty good price. They haven't left it as a standard year, which I appreciate. They've at least liked this car enough to even think about what year it came from. Modify here, or something, I don't know. Okay, so no, this is not the track car. This is just a car. Some car. Now, this is all-wheel drive. Does this have 3 pots all round? I can't remember. Oh, hold on. There we go. 3 pots on the front and 3 pots on the rear, but the rear brakes are really small to compensate for the fact that the rear brakes are way overpowered. So, I don't like the chances of this car being good. Oh, we have a bog off the line. Okay, that is an unfortunate bog off the line. Not the sort of thing that you would realistically like to have. Little bits of understeer, okay. The design of the rear end is very basic. I do like the basicness of it. It has a quaintness to it. I like that they've got a bolted up sort of exhaust shroud there, like they've updated, like modifying the car. Pretty cool. Oh, this thing has oversteer at high speeds, but then understeer at low speeds. Very weird. Let's see how it goes through this corner. This will kill it if it's a bad car. Okay, it didn't kill it, but it also didn't do particularly amazing either. Give me a second. I need to blow my nose. Yes, the brake fade was expected, correct. Wait, you're still streaming? I just got back? I've only been live now for less than 2 hours, and if you take away the intro section, like 1 hour and 50 minutes. Alright, let's go ahead and try this thing now through bus stop, see how it handles this corner. Okay, brakes are really, really good. I shouldn't have poo-pooed on them so much. Handling is fine, though we do still have that high-speed instability, which is a problem. Reminds you of a Renault Clio? A little bit. From the front, though. Actually, you know, yeah, no. I was about to say, it does look a little bit like a Proton, but maybe like an amalgamation of the two. Brakes are really good. Oh my god, okay, so they do have the wrong sort of brake setup, and I'm going to see how long it takes for them to overcook, but it looks like they've actually gone with an exotic material for the brakes, and maybe the car is really light. Let's see how it does on... This is Eau Rouge, right? Or Radeon? No. I can't remember. So understeer there, unfortunately. Then oversteer there on the other end. This is the big turbo car, right? Yeah, I think it is. Honda Civic in the rear? A little bit. I mean, I get it, but... Alright. Let's see how the brakes are going to do on this final one. Got a fair decent amount of... Oh, you know what? Actually, this thing is slow in a straight line. Okay, the brakes are actually refusing to overheat. But I think that's because they got, like, $30,000 worth of brakes here. Because you see that pattern there? I think that means that this has... super duper carbon ceramic brakes with lots of cooling by the looks of it. So I retract my statement on their brake choice. Still, I wouldn't have gone with it though. You could have saved a lot of money and just done the brakes better. Now, does this also... It does have ABS, okay. This is probably one of the best braking cars we've had this stream so far. Pretty good. I like it. Decent. Let's get it through Puon. Now, you'll want to get out of here really quickly because what you don't want to end up with is Puon left on your car. Poo on your car. I'm funny, aren't I? I'm very funny, aren't I? Anyway, the reason why I'm making that joke is because the corner's named Puon, and I think that's funny. Brake fade! I was right, you were wrong. Yep. They got a little bit toasty. But I still think that they have carbon ceramic brakes. Yep. They get nice and cooked. Here I was thinking I'd have to eat my words. Turns out I should just have more trust in myself. So, Should have been less pistons, more brake disc. Aside from that, it's only a little bit of brake fade and only under extreme braking. We're going to see how it does, though, in the bus stop again after cooking twice so far. I believe that's Radion, right? We went a little too wide. That would have been a penalty, so I would have had to have left there. This is doing really well for no downforce. So yes, brakes cook, but then they cool down really quickly. So they have a lot of brake cooling. So, overall, this music is really loud. I'm gonna go turn it down. There we go. Okay. There are things I like about this car. The design is fairly nice, though basic. I do like the idea that they've come up with a bit of a story behind it with its exhaust, big turbo, all that sort of stuff. The realism is quite low because it's all-wheel drive with those brakes on there. Nobody would really do that unless they were from the early 2000s or the early noughts. Because it was all about like what you had as opposed to how good it was with the sex spec. But I do like it. It handles pretty well. Though I am going to give it a fairly low score because the power is still quite low. I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10 because I actually do really like this one. It is pretty darn good. We're going to have the cooked brakes for dinner. Can you tell me how cooked the brakes are? Are they medium rare? Nah, they're well done, bruh. But then again, they cool down really quickly as well. So yeah, whatever. Don't think I've seen drum brakes on the streams that I remember. There is a car with drum brakes. I just don't remember which one it is. I think it might have been the Mustang car had drum brakes. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was the Mustang had drum brakes. So that gets it a bit of a better score. Now, the Volkswagen GTI clone, which is not using a Volkswagen GTI body. I'd say that this is more of a shooting brake body than the other one, because like you got the long bonnet. It just, like the Volkswagen has a very stooped front nose sort of area. That's why I don't think this body quite matches Volkswagen's kind of design. Or maybe there was like an export error with the save file and then maybe an import error, who knows. Somewhere around there, there's usually a lot of issues. We do have a rear wing, an actual rear wing and not a rear diffuser. So choices have been made. Interesting. We do only have front-wheel drive. We have a McPherson strut, or McPherson, I think it's McPherson, in the front, and multi-link in the rear with no rear drive. So it's not like a GTI R or whatever it is. Lots of traction control. Seems like a fair decent amount of power. The pops from automation, though, are really loud in BeamNG, which is annoying. Let's see how it does under braking. Moderate brakes. These are good road / sports, maybe very road kind of orientated. We do have hard long life, so I don't know if I would call this a GTI car because it's just got normal road-like tires on there, like hard long lives. It's not really meant for a sports car. Oh, understeer, understeer. So yes, it is a front-wheel drive car, but handleable. Actually, pretty good. I do like this one. Nice. I see a kind of BMW 1 Series. Yes, that's what I think this body looks like, which is why I said at the beginning that I thought this was a little bit more BMW-like. Let's try it now with traction control. Actually, you know what? Let's try it on a different map. We've been doing this one for a while. Let's go free roam. What do we want to try? I'm tempted to try it on, like, derby arenas. I really should have the Nordschleife map, but I don't want to use it in stream because it takes forever to load. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to try Hirochi Raceway. See how it does. I'm loading every single map after clearing my cache. This is just like bad ideas. I should just stick to like the same maps all the time. Come on, please. There we go. Okay. Well, let's bring up the Volkswagen Golf and have a look at its stats whilst we wait for the map to load in completely 100%. So, VW Golf GTI by Chromatic Schnitzel, which is a person we've had a few cars from in the past. This is a 2020 car. It's $43,100. So, I kind of would have hoped a little bit more from it, and maybe all-wheel drive from it as well. And their description, so descriptive. A 2020 Volkswagen Golf GTI. Well done. I'm going to turn the music up a smidge. I think it was just that last song was more loud than the rest. So, let's, I'm editing Maltesers. Oh, I'm eating Maltesers. I'm not good with the words and speaky such. Let's turn traction controllers and see how this thing does with the clutch dump. The new Golf GTR poops. Pops? Like that, but for me it sounds like it's farting. Okay, lots of wheel spin off the line. BeamNG doesn't know which gear to be in. I like it. Would have loved to have seen a VR6 version of this though. Oh, a little bit of understeer. Okay, good. Oh, more understeer. Okay, alright, coming together. It's doing okay. This is not a track beast, or even a car that you would probably feel particularly comfortable with in taking to a track day, because it's just not fast. It's a bit slow. One thing I do know about the Volkswagens though is they are incredibly tunable if we have Mighty Car Mods to go by. Didn't they take one and do not a whole lot of work to it and get the thing doing like an 11-second quarter mile or something like that? Like, goddamn. That's a lot of tunability. Okay, well, we're gonna have to handbrake, get it turned around a little bit, and there we go. Okay, back onto the track. A little too much understeer for my liking, unfortunately. Why is my voice cracking sometimes as well? Why is it doing that? I mean, this car is not going to get a particularly high score. It's also not going to get a particularly low score because they've tried to make it realistic. I just don't think that they've really captured the essence of a Volkswagen. Unless the Volkswagen... Does anybody have a Volkswagen Golf? Does it understeer a little bit more than what you would like? Or does it have good handling? I'm trying to induce oversteer, but it has so much understeer it just pulls itself back in line all the time. And back in line is understeer. Alright. We're going to go full handbrakies around all corners now and try to get this thing to drift as much as possible, even though it doesn't have a lot of power. We're going to go full manual control on the gearbox as well. Okay, that didn't go quite so well. There was just not enough front traction, so it understeered a lot. Too much understeer to induce oversteer like that, with popping on and off the handbrake. Unfortunately, it's not a fun car like you would hope that the Volkswagen GTI would be. So, okay, well, bugger. Too much understeer. Even trying to induce oversteer, it's still got way too much understeer. I'm gonna give this car like a 6, 5.5 maybe. The design isn't really there. It doesn't look like a Volkswagen Golf. The handling isn't great. The power is too low. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one. Well, am I being too harsh? What do you guys think? Because I feel like I'm being too harsh. But I find no redeeming features really in it. Apart from its like kind of realism with the moderately powered engine. It looks a little soft for the type of car. Looks how my 90s Ford Fiesta feels. It does look a little bit like that. I mean, the GTI is meant to have the... is meant for the track if you push it hard enough. Yeah, I know. Welcome TR670. Long time until you finally gotten here. You're like on the last few cars. And welcome Danny. You reckon a 5.5 as well, Danny? Oof. Okay. 6 from you? Okay, good. So I feel a little bit more justified. Like, look at that body roll. That's a a lot of body roll. Okay, well, come on. There's way too much understeer. Let's go ahead and bring up the next car. And what do we have? Ah, okay, I believe this one is meant to be the track car. The XMS Rascal. Is that really this car? Yeah, it is the XMS Rascal. Let's go through this dot point by dot point. So it's the GT2 730 horsepower. So it's the GT2 car from Wheelspin. Thank you, Wheelspin. A 2020 car. $7.76 million from a hatchback. This is a 730 inline 6 powered GT2 class meant for circuit racing and hill climb. Okay, so it's not a time attack, it's circuit racing and hill climb, which are two very different sorts of race categories. So I don't know how it's meant to be like specialized in both of those. Let's have a little bit more of a look at this car. 5 from you. Oh, Groundhog is being particularly harsh. I would say that it's better than a 5 because it's not bad. It's just not really much above good. 6.9. Haha, good thing ruined by a period. I'm sorry. I'll show myself out. I'm joking, I'm still here. Alright, did you just put the word Fiesta in there? I think somebody's... Did I... What? I don't think so. I think somebody mentioned that they had a 90s Fiesta. 5.0, much power for tiny car. Yes, I'm assuming that this is going to be a little bit problematic. Though it is a little bit long, so maybe the thing is handleable. That is one expensive hatchback? I know. The Golf was kind of nice. Good, but not great. Yeah. I'm going to go out and say it. Just like, if you don't look at that part, the rest of this looks a lot more like a Golf than the last car. The front end. Odd choices, but I do like it. The ventilation for the front wheel area is not quite in the right place, though it is with the body line, so they've kind of gone, like, compromised a little bit for comfort. For design. But still, that's not actually a realistic design anyway. So, I mean... I do like that they got the intercooler front and center. No radiator behind it. So... They haven't worried about the little details. We have a big F-off turbo on this inline 6 with double wishbone suspension on the front, a very basic slapdash together interior, though still they have done it, which is more than a bunch of people, so I do appreciate the work. Let's go ahead and have a look down here. We have all-wheel drive, which you would want from a car with this much power. Though I would have expected it to be a longitudinal engine, but sure, whatever, okay. I am... Oh, wait, hold on. Is this the car that doesn't have front aero? No, it does have front aero. That's right, yeah, no. They've tucked the wing inside. The front reminds me of that red car from the other... I don't know the color of it, but I do know what you mean. It does look like that, and I think that's possibly because it's the same creator? Wheel spin. No, I don't think it is the same creator, but maybe then it's just the grill choice. Sorry about that. This looks more like a VW than, but more of a Scirocco. It does look a little bit like a Scirocco, but from... The side's a little too flat for a Scirocco, though. Should I put about 1,000 horsepower inline 6 in a hatchback? Probably not. Alright, let's give it a try. We don't have a good transmission, we have a dual clutch. So, we've got a lot of weight over the front. I'm going to see how this car handles. That is a lot of grip and a lot of traction. Okay. Is this also the last car of the stream? It might be. If it is, I might try to take this thing up Pikes Peak. That is a lot of traction. This car is very, Very handleable, and it's steady at high speeds. Oh, the turbo is overheating. All right, let's turn traction control off and see how this handles differently with traction control off. Okay, so with traction control off, this thing tends to more understeer. Wow, that's surprising. Let's bring it back up again and try it again. You know what, actually, let's set it to sports mode. Oh, it feels like it's taking more power away in sports mode. Alright. Pretty decent. Good handling. Brakes are pretty good. They make me feel confident in the car. Oh, understeer. Okay, so sometimes this car suffers from understeer. And I think it's when it goes over a ledge. So maybe there's, like, maybe not enough downforce? Who knows? Or maybe they've done the tire imbalance and they've had to fix that with... You know what? No, I think that has to do with the fact that it's got a really heavy engine, so it carries a lot of inertia on the front. So when you're going down a dip, this thing suffers massively from understeer. But otherwise, like, look at that. On a flat ground, this thing handles really, really nicely. It's just when we're not on a downhill section. This thing is going to do really well at Pikes Peak, I think. Let's double check, though, to see if this is the last car. We do have a problem with overheating, though, but on Pikes Peak, you're not dealing with huge straights. Oh, and that's the wrong thing. I meant to have a look. Yes, this is the last car. Okay. Let's go ahead. Time trials. Pikes Peak. Long. I'm going to regret that. Select it. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should try short. We'll see. If I die of torture from this car, then maybe I'll switch over to short track. People told me a dual clutch is good. I was kind of joking. I was just more joking about the fact that I couldn't clutch dump it, which is disappointing. You'd have to have it in neutral and then switch it into drive. Where am I from? Australia. South Australia. So I've been quiet for last half an hour, broken Ursa. I was driving my freaking Maserati. Damn it, I chose the wrong car. Let's go ahead and try that again, but have the correct car chosen this time. Okay. But I was driving my freaking Maserati that I built an automation and exported to Beam. Okay, cool. Central Europe. Okay. Were you talking to them, were you? Oddly enough, it behaves like the car from the other week too. Cooling engine more than brake. Oh, maybe it is. Me too, but what country? Oh, well, joke's on you. I am too dumb for sarcasm. Really? You're too dumb for sarcasm. Anyway, let's go ahead and give this thing a bit of a try. We're going to leave sports traction control on, and we're going to switch this into the sports mode of the transmission. This thing launches hard. That's amazing. All right, cool. Bringing it around to the... Okay, understeer. Ah! Okay, let's try that again. Oh, it bogs a little bit, but that's mostly probably due to traction control. So there must be some sort of... Yeah, it does actually go down a little bit downhill there. It really immediately showed that this thing has a really heavy front end, as we've got like a ginormous engine in a short wheelbase car, so guessing the weight distribution is very much towards the front with all-drive transmission up front. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? I have not been on Pikes Peak in quite a while. As you may have noticed, I've not really done Friday Pike Day in a while. I still love Pikes Peak. It's just doing it all the time, so torturous having to try to make it up. So we're going to take this car fairly nicely up here. I'm going to go really easy on the car. Ah, understeer. Okay, this car thing has like unfortunate understeer at the worst times. I think they probably could have gone with narrower front tires and more downforce on the front. That would have helped us considerably. Ah, understeer. Ah. Okay, good. Back on the power. Oh, that understeer actually really kills us because we have lots of varying heights here, unfortunately. Okay, well, nah, I give up. We're not doing this one anymore. We're going to go do the short Devil's Playground. Nope, short. Yes, good play. Okay. I give up on that. Central Europe is the same time zone, though. The entire region, Central Europe. I am in Oceania. I'm not sure what time zone I'm in. ACT, Australian Central Time, and not ACT is in Australian Capital Territory. This track looks a lot brighter than I remember. I think that might be the new graphical upgrade. Regrettably, I must take my leave. The time has come to be ground up by the American labor machine once again. That doesn't sound fun at all. I'm guessing maybe by how dreary you're making it sound, maybe you're working for Amazon, which is having a problem with employee retention right now. Let's try that again now that we've got it set into gear correctly. Set it into sequential or sports mode or whatever. We're going to leave traction control on to help us deal with understeer. But this is going uphill only, so... Okay, you know what? No. I actually can't have traction control on at all. As you saw just then, like, traction control was way too much. So we're going to have to suffer through the... Okay. We're going to have to suffer through the indignity of understeer. A lot. Also, the exhaust just popping out the side there. I love it. But you haven't filled around the area of the hole. That would burn the paint off, so usually there's some sort of protection. Okay, come on. Please. Don't be like that car. We're going to go a lot nicer on this car now that we're starting to see that this thing has a real issue with understeer. Oh, lots of oversteer. Okay. Now we're going to see how it does on the long sweeper. We're getting a little bit of understeer. We don't want to go flying off the edge, though. Decent, decent. Then slow down. Whoa. So, not the late braking points, just a little bit before the normal braking points is where you have to brake this thing. Okay, come on. I've not played this map in quite a while. Probably been a good 3 or 4 months since I've been on this track. Okay, come on. I can't be that bad at remembering this track. Come on. Oops, hold on. I've heard that Bombardier is dying like a year ago. I don't know what Bombardier is. I've heard of the name Bombardier, but I don't know what it is. Come on. Don't understeer too much. Oh, come on. All right, then it oversteered a little bit and then sent me off into the dirt. Come on. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Get turned. Good. Okay. Slow it down. Good. I'm going to brake a little bit further back this time. Still didn't brake far enough back. Could have gone with a little bit more. Oh, okay. Control that oversteer. Good. Bring it up here to this corner now. Oh, it really gets hit by understeer there. That's unfortunate. All right, let's slow it down. Normal braking point, and it wasn't enough. Bugger. Let's try that again, shall we? Bombardier makes planes? Okay. I don't know Bombardier. Fine. I am so determined to make this work. Okay, I give up. Car gets a 7 out of 10. I like the design mostly. I think the nose stoop's a little too much. The realism and all that sort of stuff, not particularly there. The cost is outrageous. I like the car, but it's not refined enough. too heavy of an engine all the way up the front there like that. This car is green, but it wants to be with the trees. Fair enough. Bombardier is a plane, train, and something else sort of company, and trains. Oh, they do trains too. I did not know that. Neither did I, not knowing that they even existed. I've heard the name before, though. And I think something else, but I don't know. Yeah. Boats? What? All the ground? What? Bombardier, I think, is actually doing rather well, I think. Yay. Live rage quit. Also, Bombardier... Bombardier is, I think, how people... Bombardier. Okay, I've never heard of Bombardier. At all. Never. But yeah, so... I think this has been a fairly decent video so far. Decent stream. The VOD will be live at some point. It may go down due to the copyright claim that we're about to get for the ending. The very special ending. Let's go ahead and switch you over and give you a good heart-to-heart conversation. Oh, my hair looks terrible. It's a mess. It looks atrocious. Let's just fix that up. Yeah, got there. Okay, good. So, I hope you all have enjoyed today's stream. So, thank you everyone that is still around and active. That's you, Gangster Gamer. That's you, Canola Skies. Groundhog, thank you as well. TR673, thank you as well. And Flame Z, thank you. And then we are going to have to scroll up a little bit more to see the other ones. Jumbo Jacob, thank you for coming by. Space Warrior, thank you for coming by. TR673, thank you for coming by. Also remember that Revhanger was here. Welcome and thank you for coming by. Who else we got? Let's scroll up more. Well, thank you, Danny, for coming by. A lot of people. Flame Z, thank you for coming by. Crownless, I don't think I noticed you earlier because your picture kind of blended in with other people, and my dyslexia means that I just won't read something if I assume that something is something. But yes, thank you for coming by. The Straight Alchemist, welcome, even if you did only ever say the one thing. And Yash Plays, thank you as well. I think that's enough. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for the cars, and thank you for coming by. So, a mutual thankingness going around. A little bit of like a circle thank you, one might say. Don't look at me like that. No problem. Welcome, Aaron F. Welcome, and thank you for coming by. Been another great stream, thank you. But yeah, let's wind down now and call it a bit of a day. We're gonna first start by cut the music. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy, once again, my outro that always gets copyright claimed, and then I have to deal with every single time that I end a stream. Bye.
No.
I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry.
No, it'll be okay. Stay with us. It'll be okay.
I have to go away.
No, don't do it. Please, don't go.
I must go away.
Viewers.
No! No, wait. Wait, you don't have to do this.
Sorry.
No, don't do it. Don't go.
It has to end here.
I order you not to go. I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do. Goodbye.
Oh, also, in regards to this week's